Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be finishing off the cladding in the Sprinter. So yes, hello everyone, thank you for joining me once again. We are going to try and finish off the cladding of the Sprinter. However, to do that, what I needed to do was get things like my lights and my switch block for said lights. And also, obviously, that's going to tell me my voltage. There's also a couple of USB slots there, and there's also a cigarette lighter socket there as well. I've also got a pair of plug sockets with USBs that I'd like to install on that side as well. So I needed to do a few bits of wiring before I could actually crack on with the cladding. However, that's all done, and I'll show you now. Okay, so as you can see, I've made an absolute mess of the back of the Sprinter right now. However, it was for a good reason. So first of all, what I've done was I've ran this very thick 16 or 32 gauge, I can't remember which one it was, cable, battery cable, all the way to the front of the cab where the battery is, just in front of the passenger seats. So what I did was I lifted up these floorboards and I ran it all underneath there, nice and neatly, all the way to here. So basically, eventually, I'm going to have my electrics all probably around here. It's going to be nice and hidden by the bed. The only way you're going to be able to see it is when you open the rear doors. However, this section here underneath the bed is for that very reason. It's going to be all my spare parts, all my tools, all the electrics for the van are going to sit here as well. So I made sure that the run of cable has gone all the way through there, and I've got plenty of spare here so I can sort it all out and screw it up once everything's done. What I've also done as well is I've wired up this double plug socket. So again, this is going to sit probably about here. But again, I needed to do all this before I put the cladding on, because this way I can now run it underneath there, through that gap, and again, back into here where it's going to be nice and hidden underneath the bed. So that's the plug socket, that is the split charge relay cable. The only other thing I had left was some lights and some switches. So I bought these lights, and again, it didn't come with a power supply. So what I've done is I've made one myself, using this twin core cable and a 5521, I believe that end is. So I bought these on Amazon. It came in a pack of 10. I only needed one, but okay. So I've solder jointed these to this cable, and this is going to sit right about here. What I've had to do in two sections, as you can see here, I've just had to hollow out some of the insulation. So my switch panel will end up sitting nice and flush with the cladding. So it's going to sit probably about there. And what I need to do is make sure I have enough clearance for all these cables, my join, and the fuse block as well. So that's what I've had to do there. I've also had to do the same to the roof for this little block here. And I needed this to be pretty much central so I can then run all 6 lights in their directions and have plenty of room. So again, I've just hollowed out a little section there. What I made sure I did was I've only took probably about half the insulation out, just big enough for this and just big enough for the switch block. So then I have still got some insulation behind it. Also, I've then gone back round with my tape and made sure that it's all nice and tight. So what we can do now, this is all done, I can actually now start to crack on with the rest of the cladding. Now I have gone and bought a few more bits of trim to finish off the edges and to carry on with the joins. Now this side here, there is a join and I wasn't quite sure what to do with it, so I've bought a piece of trim, which I'll now show you. And this is the bit of trim I was talking about. Now, when I did this originally, I wasn't too sure how I was going to get the finish of the different lengths of cladding to match up. I was tempted to do what you would do with a wooden floor and do the match where you go like there, and then you'd have a longer piece, and then that piece would then be short, and then carry it on like that. However, this cladding was really, really difficult to get hold of, and I didn't want to waste any wood. So I just decided I'll just do the whole length of the cladding, and then I found this trim which allows me to do 2 sections and join them up nicely. So I'm going to have to do it the same as the roof as well, and this section here, but at least that now gives me a better finish and it just makes everything look a little bit smarter. I'm not too worried about the fact it's white, because what I really want to do is whitewash this cladding once everything's done as well. So hopefully it shouldn't look out of place. I did buy some more trims as well, because like I said, I wanted to do all the little edges like I've done down there, like I've done here. I had to buy some more of this, so I have to do the same on that side, and I'm going to have to do this piece along the roof section as well. But at least this now enables me to crack on with the roof, crack on with this section, And then when we get so far into the roof, we're going to have to then start to obviously fit the lights. To be honest, I think I'm going to start with the very next panel. So I'll have a light here and then probably same width away on this section here. So let's just crack on with the cladding. Okay, so you now join me here on day 2. It was an absolute struggle with the weather. I've now made an absolute mess of my floor, and it was really hard to start getting the wood in without it getting absolutely soaked before I could even get it onto the side of the van. So I had to end my day short yesterday, and I'm going to crack on again today. Now what I've done is I've just continued with this side, because doing the transition from the roof going down to this side going that way seemed to be an absolute nightmare. Now when I did it on that side, alright, it wasn't the easiest. However, I did find it a lot easier trying to go up then into the roof rather than going from the roof down to the sides. So I just started to build up this side. I've also ran the plug socket in. I've ran my MCB board here. I've put that there. Obviously that's going to control the plug sockets, so I'm going to take my inverter and I'm going to actually take the inverter's feed and put it straight into the MCB. That way I can control obviously more things a lot easier, and it'll all be fused. That way I can just do one plug out of the inverter into the MCB and just use that as the main controls, which I think is going to be a lot easier than what I tried to do with the Sprinter. Obviously the roof is now pretty much done on this side anyway. I've still got this section to do. However, I'm really pleased with how this has come out, especially with the lights actually sat in. It looks really, really nice. So what I'm going to do now is just carry on with this side, and then hopefully I can start to do the transition for the roof. And then once I am doing the transition onto the roof, that then gives me a good line to carry on and do this section of the roof, then go down into that section of the side. Then the cladding will be complete. So hopefully I can get all that done today. Let's just crack on and see. Okay, so sadly I have now run out of time. I've managed to get this side completed, however, and I've also done the transition to the roof. What I've also done is given this little edge around here a wrap in my carpet material. So I'm going to do this to the side door and the 2 rear doors as well. However, I'm really pleased with how this finish is now coming along. I love the light switch panel and the voltage. It's obviously got a cigarette lighter and 2 USB sockets as well, so that's going to come in really, really handy. Just above my lovely flush double plug socket with 2 twin USBs there as well. So just in this little area alone, I have 4 USB sockets, which is absolutely ideal, especially for all the electrical gadgets and stuff that we take to the track with us. So obviously I've now fitted the MCB as well, just to the side. Obviously I've not wired anything up just yet. That will come as soon as this woodwork is done. We can then concentrate on the good bits, like wiring up the electrical system, fitting the TV, fitting the radiator, and building the bed. I really can't wait till we get onto that process. I was really hoping to get this woodwork done this week. However, just with fitting various different bits and pieces like these bits, it has cost me a little bit more time than it would have done. Obviously I ploughed through that side, not a problem at all, but obviously fitting the lights, fitting the plug sockets and switches and stuff is obviously just a little bit more time consuming. However, there are only 2 little sections left to go, and next weekend we will crack on and get them done. However, I do think I'm a couple of packs of cladding short maybe. We will see. I'll see how we go. I'll use what I've got left, and then we'll just see what we ended up with. But like I said, unfortunately that's all the time I've got for this week, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.